The customer is always right. You've probably heard this famous saying many times. It's not just an idiom specific to one country. This idiom, which is used in different ways in all countries of the world and is international, is actually a good topic of debate. In this world, dominated by capitalism, the market economy is based mainly on competition. Of course, the main source of income for this competition comes from customers. Just from this sentence, you can understand how important the customers are today, especially in marketing and business topics. Expressions such as customer satisfaction is the most important thing, we value customer opinion, etc., have become slogans of many firms and companies. On the other hand, another important component for the company is its employees. Employees of the company are the people who work day and night for the company and work for its interests on good and bad days. Now the question arises, does the company care more about its employees or its customers? Let's look at the answer to this question from different perspectives and in clearer form in our video. Is the customer or the employee a more important part of the company? This question doesn't have a specific answer. It's a question that's been debated for years and has been answered differently by different people and companies. Answering this question has become easier in recent years, as the primary goal for many companies is to increase revenue. On the one side is the employee who works for the company, earns income from the salary provided by that company, and can easily be replaced. And on the other side stands the customer, who brings income to the company and plays a role in realizing the main goal of the company. So for companies that focus on profit above all and have a high competitive spirit, the answer to this question is that the customer is undoubtedly the most important thing for the company. By choosing this way, they're not just choosing between two people, but also between two groups, employees and customers. As we discuss these two options in our video, this question is probably running through your mind right now, and I'm sure many of you are struggling to find the answer to this question. In fact, even if this question is a topic of debate, a true leader should not try to find an answer to this question. Because if one of the two equally important components for a company is prioritized, then of course, the balance will be disturbed. On the other hand, according to many companies, it's more important to value the employees who are part of the company and to treat their interest with respect. Richard Branson, a famous English businessman and author, says, "Putting employees first and valuing them is the beginning of the road to success for a company." He also adds that if a company takes care of an employee who is part of that company, then the employee will take care of the customer. In other words, according to Richard Branson, the way to the customer's heart is through the company's attitude towards its employees. If we really examine this approach, we'll see how much truth there is in these words. Experience also shows that employees who are valued by companies see themselves not only as employees, but also as a part of the team and the company. Thus, they approach their work with more responsibility and feel that they belong to the companies they work for. This automatically affects the customer satisfaction of those companies. Let's explain this issue more clearly with a simple example. For example, think about the restaurants you've been to and the service there. Even if the served food is of high quality, the attitude of the waiters is also among the issues that are in focus. Waiters can be very good at their jobs, but how they treat customers depends on how much they love their job. Tirelessly taking care of all customers throughout the day and fulfilling their requests with a smile shows how much the waiter has mastered and loves his job. So it can be concluded that in order to satisfy customers, company leaders must first take care of their employees and try to satisfy them. Finally, I want to note that the question of whether a client or an employee is more important in order to be successful should not be answered by a leader. Because if this question is answered one-sidedly, then the company will automatically make a choice, and this will disturb the balance between customers and employees. This means loss for the company. What is important is that the company considers customers and employees as an inseparable duo and does not forget that the path to satisfied customers is through satisfied employees. Now I'd like to ask you, what do you think about this question and what would be your answer? It would be useful and interesting for us to see your thoughts in the comment section of our video. Thanks for watching.